What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Minnesota Twins franchise on MLB The Show 17. Today we finally bring this first season to an end. We have been on quite the journey here with these struggling Twins. Lots of ups and downs as we are 59 and 91, and we'll look to end the season here today. We've had a few standouts on the team, of course, and we're getting a feel for some of the young talent that we're trying to build around. So the September games have kind of been fun to see more talent get a chance and to rely on a lot more young players getting some major playing time. However, with the young players, you get some really good performances and some really poor ones. Steven Gonzalez had a great season at AAA, but has struggled mightily here with the Major League team with an ERA over 9. So the Twins dropped their first game to the Yankees here in their final series against New York on the road in Yankee Stadium. In this game, the Twins up against Luis Severino with a 2-15 record and an ERA in the mid-4s. So in the first, this is Eduardo Escobar hitting in the 2 spot as he drives this out to deep left center, and this goes off the wall for a well-hit double. We'll go to Max Kepler, who is hitting a lot more effectively on the road, and this is a good hitter's park in New York. 1-2 to Kepler as he takes a fastball just below the knees and then fouls off a changeup. He battles here with Severino, fouling off the inside fastball. Look at this pitch sequence. Here is number 9 to Kepler, full count. And a base hit to center field, it gets through. That sends Escobar on home, the throw offline, and the Twins strike first in the first inning. Here is one of my favorite young players on the roster, Daniel Palca, who has been red hot as of late. 342 in his last 10. There's a drive to left, over the left fielder's head, and down for another extra base hit. That'll bring Kepler on home as Palca registers another double, and the Twins go up 2-0 in the first inning. I've talked about this a little bit before, but I would be absolutely shocked if Palca is not with the Major League team after the spring next year. I expect he'll play well then. So the Twins go up 2-0, giving a lead to young pitcher Jose Barrios, who has done well in his limited starts late in the season. There's a strikeout as he gets going. We've seen Barrios do a very good job lately at getting those punch-outs, and he had that changeup working early. 1-2. Gary Sanchez waves at the changeup below the knees for strike 3. Barrios gets 2 Ks in the first inning. How about the second? Well, he falls behind to Chris Carter but gets the count full and drops the changeup on the outside corner for his 3rd strikeout. 1 down in the second. Now Greg Bird waving at the changeup on the outside corner. Barrios strikes out 4 of the first 5 batters he faces with the help of that changeup. Now here's Aaron Judge, leading the way in Rookie of the Year voting with 25 home runs. Judge behind in the count. He won't strike out, but a lazy fly ball will do the job as Barrios finishes 2 very strong opening frames. In the third, he gets a jammed liner to Miguel Sano as they had him shifted over, basically playing shortstop. So the first time through the Yankee order, Barrios perfect, as we will head into the 4th inning. Daniel Palca at bat as Severino worked the count full, but eventually walks Palca. Next up, Kenys Vargas. Slider way inside, another full count. And then he misses way low at the fastball. The pitch count getting out of control, now back-to-back walks. That summons the pitching coach as they try to settle down Severino. He gets 1 down. Then Danny Santana pulls it to second. They have an easy 4-6-3, except for Greg Bird can't squeeze it at first base. And it ends up being runners at the corners for Minnesota. And the very next pitch, lined to center field by Jason Castro as the Twins take a 3-0 lead in Yankee Stadium. So the second time through the order now for Barrios, and they still can't touch the changeup. Then Gary Sanchez gets under one, and this is a pop-up for Barrios as he gloves the final out, 12 in a row to begin the game, and a 3-0 lead. Now the 5th inning has been the toughest for our pitchers this season, but Barrios was looking to change that as he strikes out Chris Carter for the 2nd time. Next up is Greg Bird as Barrios tries to locate that curveball and falls behind 3-1 to Bird. tries to come back with the fastball, and Bird drives it out to left field. It's got a chance with Rosario giving chase, and that is gone. That breaks up the perfect game that Berríos had going. It was only 13 outs into it, so not quite halfway, as Bird puts the Yankees on the board. Just one mistake here for Berríos as the Yankees capitalize, and then Aaron Judge going down swinging. Berríos trying to put that home run behind him. Let's go into the 6th. 2 down, and a ground ball hit sharply to short. Easy play, and Berríos finishes 6 innings with only 1 hit and 1 run allowed. Let's go to the 7th. The Minnesota Bats quieted down as Santana gets a sharp ground ball to third base. That's not played cleanly, so he reaches. But then after advancing to second, Buxton lifting one high and hard to right. Judge gives chase, and he reaches up to glove this. It does send the runner on to third base with 2 down in the inning. Here is Escobar with 2 down as he chops it on to second base, and Castro makes the play. Twins can't increase their lead, so it stayed close with the young pitcher on the mound. To the 7th, here is Starlin Castro going down low for this pitch as he grounds it on to second, and he is retired again. Berríos still only at 80 pitches in the 7th inning as this chopper goes back to him, and he will retire Chris Carter. 7 wonderful innings for Jose Berríos, and he was not done. To the 8th. Back against Greg Bird, the only player to get a hit off of him, and Bird will go down low for the changeup. Berríos once again strikes out a Yankee batter. 1 down, now Judge still can't connect on the changeup. Then below the fastball, 0-2. Judge now underneath it, and that is going to be a pop-out. They were not challenging the defenders very much when they did make contact. Here's Berríos behind in the count, trying to battle back, but again falls to 3-1. And then Gardner grounds it to second. Another routine play. Berríos finishes 8. Could he go the distance against the Yankees? Starting here with a fly ball to left, and that's Zach Granite getting some playing time as he gloves that. 2 more outs. Then Chase Headley into the shift and gets it through. Just the 2nd hit allowed by Jose Berríos, but he would remain in the game. Here is Jacoby Ellsbury, who doesn't like the fastball called low. And then an awkward swing at the changeup, followed by a wave at the 2-seam fastball. Strike 3, and the Yankees down to their final out. Starlin Castro representing the tying run as he lifts a pop-up toward the seats. Kepler can't make the play. 1-2 count. Berríos gets him on the changeup and ends the game. The Twins win 3-1 behind one of the best pitching performances of the entire season. Hats off to Jose Berríos for this gem of an outing. He went the distance, only allowed 2 hits, 1 run, no walks with 9 strikeouts, against a lineup that has some pretty good bats. His 2-seam fastball and changeup were both excellent in this game. He kept the ball down, the control was there, and the Yankees had a lot of swinging strikes. We didn't get a lot of offense, but didn't need any more than we had. And just take a look at how much XP this game was worth, from 49 through 50, and then partway into 51 to 52. Definitely one of my favorite games all season. So we wrap up the series against the Yankees. We do drop 2 games to them, and then head on to Detroit, where again we lose. We do get a home run from Daniel Palca in this game, and Yadier Alvarez does not have a great outing. 5 innings, 4 runs, 5 walks. Then we get blown out by Detroit, with Steven Gonzalez now having the ERA approach 10. We ended up with a huge losing streak here. We were in danger of not getting to 63 wins. We had to win 3 out of our last 4 to avoid another 100-loss season. So here is our final game against Cleveland. They already had 100-plus wins and the division championship. So the game gets out to a very slow start offensively. Alvarez on the mound, doing a good job through 3. So let's go into the 4th. 2 out for Palca, who sits back on the first pitch, drives it out to deep left center, and sends it out. Another home run for Daniel Palca. And the September he was putting together had him in the running for Rookie of the Month. He was that good. This was his 9th home run at the major league level. I forget how many he had down at AA and AAA. Also had one in the AA All-Star game. He is already becoming one of our best 2 or 3 power hitters. Of course you have Sano at the top. And then Eddie Rosario has come on strong this year. But Palca's surely up there. Here is Alvarez in the 4th inning as he gets the strikeout blown past Carlos Santana at 96. Cleveland does get a base runner, but a fly ball to right ends the inning. 4 good innings from Alvarez. Twins with a narrow lead as they do increase it on a Miguel Sano single. Into the 5th, and I've talked about this countless times. This is our problematic inning. And Alvarez gives up not 2, not 3, but 5 runs in the 5th as the Twins lose their lead. Reminder, we had to win 3 out of our last 4 just to avoid 100 losses. And it wasn't looking good after that 5-run 5th. Twins running out of time, but Sano does come through with his 3rd single of the day. We needed a few more of those, so Kepler rips it to second, and that catch is made to close out the 8th inning. We couldn't make anything happen with the heart of our order, and Cleveland goes on to win and sweep us in our final series of the season. Another loss for Minnesota, and that would make it so we had to sweep the Detroit Tigers to get to 63 wins. Josh Tomlin gets his 20th win of the season. Palca homers twice, but it's not enough. So we had to sweep Detroit, and that didn't happen. The Tigers beat us 4-2. They win Game 2, beating us 9-2. The Twins lose 9 in a row heading into the final game of the season, guaranteed at least 101 losses. So here it is, Game 162 at Target Field as Palca homers yet again. A lead given to Jose Barrios, closing out the year for us. As this gets dropped in shallow right field for a hit. This was the first allowed by Barrios in the game. Then a 1-2 count, and this is a strikeout on Tyler Collins. Barrios not done racking up the strikeouts. However, he does allow multiple hits in an inning for the first time in a little while. However, Barrios is developing that ability to pitch himself out of trouble. There's the 2-seamer down low, and the curveball was there but not called. 1-2, the 2-seamer gets the job done as he strikes out Iglesias. 2 down in the inning, and another one on the changeup, striking out Ian Kinsler. 3 strikeouts in the inning for Jose Barrios. Into the 3rd for Minnesota, here is Buxton driving one to right. Catch is made as that will advance the runner from 2nd to 3rd base. That brings up Kenny Vargas, who's played very well in September, and he'll drive one out to right, but this one a little bit harder, off the wall for a loud single, as he drives home the 2nd run of the ball game. Twins just trying to give the fans 1 win to close out the season. Barrios doing a phenomenal job. But our offense still not producing a whole lot as a team. 2-0 in the 6th, Barrios still going, and this is driven a long way from Jose Iglesias. Down the line and left, it's gone for a solo home run. At least these misses by Barrios aren't happening with runners in scoring position. Now a 2-1 ball game, Miguel Cabrera, as he waves at the changeup. 1-1, and a drive to center. Buxton tracks it down easily and makes the catch. Just because 1 or 2 things is going wrong does not mean the inning completely falls apart for Barrios. He has come a long way since last year. And as far as young pitchers go, he was the best young pitcher in this September. 2-1 Minnesota as Vargas continues to just pound the baseball, hitting over 300 in limited playing time. I feel bad for sending him down earlier this season. But then Sano grounded to Iglesias. They'll go around and turn 2 on the 6-4-3 double play. 2-1 ball game into the 7th. Barrios pitching deep into these games as he gets the strikeout on Victor Martinez. That changeup is just so filthy. Here's Nick Castellanos as Barrios looks for 7 complete innings. But a drive to right, it's slicing toward the line and falls in, and will be good for a stand-up double. So a runner in scoring position, and this is Tyler Collins. As he goes to right field, that's down for a base hit. Castellanos challenging to go home, and he does tie the game at 2. Barrios would finish the inning, but then turn things over to Fernando Romero. Here's a hit to deep short. And look at Escobar from the grass making the perfect throw with room to spare as he gets Iglesias out. To the 9th now, and after an error plus a walk, the Tigers have a chance. This is Castellanos, who doubled earlier, and he fouls this wide of the bag at first base, so he falls behind. And then flies to right, and the catch is made. So 2 down in the 9th inning, and that brings up Tyler Collins. Now we call on Glenn Perkins for the lefty versus lefty matchup. He blows the fastball by him. An 0-2 count. And Perkins misses his spot. It's lifted to deep right, and it's off the wall to bring home a pair of runs. The Tigers take the lead in the 9th inning, and the Twins are in danger of dropping another to close the year at Target Field. Here's K-Rod entering the game looking for save 41. Tigers up 2, Miguel Sano leads off and sends one way out of here. A no-doubt home run on the first and only pitch from Francisco Rodriguez. It's not quite over yet as Sano launches 2 home runs in the final game of the season. Twins now down by 1. This homer traveled 437 feet for Sano's 36th of the season. This homer travels to center field and nearly gets into that small second deck, but it goes underneath the board there and into the Twins bullpen as the Tigers immediately go and call on Bruce Rondon to replace K-Rod. Daniel Palca, he lifts one high to left field, but it doesn't have the Miguel Sano carry. 1 down. Max Kepler up as he grounds up the middle on the first pitch. The Twins giving themselves a chance in the 9th inning. Lefties had not been hitting very good against Rondon this season, so that was a big single by Kepler as the Twins bring out some extra speed in Quentin Berry. Also pinch hit Eddie Rosario, who's demonstrated that power. However, Rondon has power of his own, 99 blown past them, and then a pitch low as Berry took off 0-2, maybe expecting something there in the dirt. But then the 1-2 pitch is right there, the slider swung on and missed. The Twins end their season down to their final out as they'll give this at-bat to Ben Polson, the power-hitting first baseman. A pitch left up, Polson drives it out to left center, and the catch is made. The Twins close the year with 10 straight losses and 102 on the season. That makes it a 1-game improvement from last year when the Twins had 103 losses, which was bad enough to give them the number 1 pick in the draft. We know that's not going to be the same this year as the Chicago White Sox were still worse than Minnesota, but they will again be picking very high come June. So that is the first season in the books in the Minnesota Twins franchise. 60-102 is their record. Our pitching was always a problem, but come second half of the year, the offense also became somewhat of an issue. We did hit for good power this year and had a lot of home runs, but we did not put up the runs in the last couple months of the season. We were consistently around 3 or less runs, and that's not going to cut it, especially with the pitching where it's at right now. I was happy to see the way Jose Barrios closed the year, and he is the only young pitcher that looks like he could be a part of the day 1 rotation come 2018. We gave Steven Gonzalez a chance along with Yadier Alvarez, and we did get some good moments from Alvarez, but we'll have to see something really impressive in spring training for any of those players to get a chance at the majors to begin next season. We also have a very intriguing rookie class next year that might be able to produce very early in their careers. So we'll see how that all plays out, but for now I'm just happy Jose Barrios shined in his 48 September innings. He and Daniel Palca are the major bright spots as we close out this first season, and Palca's September was good enough to earn him Rookie of the Month, hitting .292 in the month of September with 8 home runs, which only netted him 14 RBIs. A few of the awards here. Nelson Cruz is your AL MVP, while the NL goes to Clayton Kershaw, along with the Cy Young. The American League Cy Young winner was Chris Sale. Then the batting titles. American League goes to Devin Travis, 333. But in the NL, there was one better. Bryce Harper hit 340 with 26 home runs. For Rookie of the Year, that goes to Aaron Judge in the American League, 241 average, 25 long balls. And in the National League, Austin Meadows of the Pittsburgh Pirates. We will go through more of those awards and talk more about the season when we get to the off-season. We will be streaming that, as many of you have wanted to see that streamed live like my other off-seasons and other series. So we'll continue on the tradition and stream the off-season here. The main thing we have to do in the off-season is free agency, and I believe we will have some money to spend, and we'll see if we can acquire some young talent to help us continue building out this roster. One thing I may do during the off-season stream is stream part of the World Series or any intense series during the playoffs, just some of the key innings there, and go and spectate, in case some of you wanted to see how the season winds down, as we're not part of the postseason, but we surely want to know what happens, especially with a very good team in our division. So I may make that part of the off-season to get some more content in there, but then we'll go through the actual off-season and get ready for year 2 in what is hopefully a more successful season for Twins baseball. We have a long way to go, and I thank you for sticking it out through this first chapter of our journey with the Minnesota Twins. Thank you all for watching and supporting this first season of the series. I really enjoyed this year despite the lack of success, so I cannot wait to see what the future holds for this team. Please leave a like if you enjoyed the video and the first season of the series. Comment below any feedback you have and subscribe to the channel for much more Twins franchise on the way. And I will see you all soon. I'll have an announcement for the stream shortly, and then you'll know when to expect the stream. So have a great day, and I'll see you then.